This person says, Tom, are you a longtime Chicago native? I was born there in 62, left in 73, but will always be a Chicagoan. Love your content. Thank you very much for the kind words about the content. I am not a Chicagoan. I am a native of Chicagoland, but not Chicago. I was born May 13th, 1972 at Gottlieb Hospital in Melrose Park, Illinois, which is just outside the city of Chicago. Now I live on the far outskirts of the Chicagoland area, but I was born just outside the city of Chicago in what's called the near west suburbs, Melrose Park, Illinois. I grew up in Northlake, Illinois, going to school in Addison, Illinois. That's a long, complicated story, but the shorthand version of that is we lived in Northlake. My grandparents on my mother's side lived with my aunt and uncle on my mother's side in Addison, and because both of my parents had to get up at the butt ass crack of dawn and go to work and couldn't afford daycare, we were enrolled in Addison schools using my aunt's address. And so my mother would get us up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, me and my brother, and drive us to my grandmother's house in Addison, drop us off, we'd go back to sleep. We'd get up when it was time to go to school, have breakfast, and then go to school there, and then get picked up after we got off the bus by my parents in Addison to go back to Northlake. But I was raised in Northlake, went to school in Addison. Ultimately, I moved around a little bit. I wound up going to junior high at S.E. Gross Junior High School in Brookfield. Was slated to go to Riverside Brookfield High School and be a Bulldog, but went to Southern Indiana instead. Did my high school in Southern Indiana. Knocked around the country for a few years, and then wound up back here in the Chicagoland area where I currently reside. My wife and I lived in Roselle, Franklin Park, and now Shanahan in our 28 years of being together. Shanahan is out by Joliet, Illinois, in the far southwest suburbs. So, of the 53 years that I've been roaming the earth, over 45 of them have been spent here in the Chicagoland area. So I guess you would say I'm a lifelong Chicagoland area person. But yes, born in 72, still here. And if I'm being honest with you, I'm probably going to die here. I'm not going to retire to Florida or Costa Rica or anything of that nature. And I don't see us ever leaving the state of Illinois at this point in time. So born, raised, and will eventually die in the Chicagoland area. I love it here. I was just talking to my son yesterday. I was in the city having a lunch with somebody. My son, my wife, our daughter, and my mother-in-law were on one of those architectural boat tours down the Chicago River, and I was explaining to my son how this is our city. This is the city that we identify with. Even though we don't live in Chicago, it's still our city as well, because the suburbs aren't possible without Chicago. Just like the suburbs of any city aren't possible without that city. And so then the people from those suburbs identify with that city, and that becomes their city, and that's our city. Chicago is our city. My daughter goes to school in Chicago, goes to college in Chicago. Chicago is the city we go to have fun and to play in, and it is the economic engine of our area. And while we are not Chicagoans, we are damn proud to be Chicagoland natives. Fuck anybody that has anything different to say.